For animations with constant movements, you could use a driver instead of inserting the single keyframes. For example, we want to move the clouds, and what we can do here is just typing hashtag frame slash and a number. It depends on how fast you want the movement. For example, this is way too fast, but you get the idea. To switch between the single frames, you can just press Alt and use the mouse wheel. We can animate the object visibility in the outliner. For example, we want the main roof to be activated in frame 1, so we press on I. And now we switch to frame 2 and deactivate it for the viewport and render, or how you want it, and press I again on both icons. And now if we switch between the frames, it changes. I don't know if it's a bug or whatever, but I noticed that if I have large scenes with many instances, the viewport performance gets much better sometimes if I deactivate the overlays. Here we have a simple animation for the location. Normally the interpolation mode is set to Bezier, but we could also change it to linear, for example. Or you could easily bounce a sphere on a plane. So this is how it looks with the normal interpolation mode. And now if we select the bounce interpolation, then it looks like this. If you want to have more control over the animation, then you could go to the graph editor, which you can find here. And now you could change the deceleration, for example. Using modifiers can be very useful in so many cases. For example, if we want to animate a simple camera shake, then we could just animate the rotation, go to the graph editor, then under object transforms, choose an Euler rotation, and you can open the side panel with N, and under modifiers, select the noise modifier. This is way too low, that's too high. And now, for example, we have animated the X Euler rotation, and now we could also copy the settings for the other rotations and change the scale a bit. And now we have a simple camera movement. Another very useful modifier is the cycles modifier. If you have movements that shall repeat, then just animate the movement and go to the modifiers, add a cycles modifier, and now it automatically repeats the movement. If we now want to bake everything into keyframes, then we can do that by just going to Object, Animation, and Bake Action. Click on OK, and here it is. Paths can be very useful for animating object and camera movements. You just have to add a curve, for example a Bezier or cycle curve. Here's a cycle curve, and then for the objects just add a follow path constraint. And now if we click on play, it moves. You can add an empty under Add, empty, and here I use the plane axis. And then just select the camera, then the empty, press Ctrl P and say set parent to object. And now if you rotate the empty, the camera moves with it. And also you can animate the rotation of the camera. If you are making a character animation, the pose library can be a really game changer. For that, you just have to be in the pose mode, then press N to open the side panel and click on animation. And if you want to make a new pose asset, you just have to select the bones and adjust it, and then click on create pose asset. And now you can switch between the different pose assets. For that I select all bones, and then I can simply click on it. If a character or a specific part of the mesh you want to animate doesn't have bones, then you could use shape keys. With shape keys, you can easily blend between different deformations of a mesh. This trick is used quite often in cinema, so what we are doing here is just going closer to the object with the camera while reducing the focal length. And here you can see the animation from the outside. And here's how it finally looks like. With a track to constraint, you can automatically track the camera to the target you choose here. For example, if I change the location of the robot, it will stay in frame.